Live from WRAL News Headquarters in Raleigh, your #1 source for local news. WRAL News, coverage you can count on.
Grab the coat. It's another cold start this morning with temperatures in the 20s and low 30s. On this map, everybody's at or below freezing. But I'll show you why we're in for some warmer temperatures soon.
All southbound lanes on I-85 in Hillsborough have just now reopened after a crash. Coming up, how this could change your morning commute.
Durham Freeway is back open after being blocked for hours by an anti-war protest. We have the response from a member of the Triangle's congressional delegation this morning.
And the time is changing this weekend, and that can be a pain, literally. Why doctors say the slight change could cause a big headache for people. It can be an adjustment on a lot of people's schedules, but looking forward to that extra hour of sleep. Good morning, everyone. It is 6:01. Great to have you with us on this Friday. We have a lot to tell you about. I'm Renee Chu.
I'm Jeff Hogan. Good to have you along. Yeah, the loss of the hour leads to migraines. That's what the doctors are saying. We'll get more into that. It's amazing we don't have perpetual migraines on this schedule, right? We're going to alleviate your headache today. It's Friday. We're headed to the weekend and a warm up, Elizabeth, right?
I've got some nice news in our forecast if you like to be outside. Now, this morning it is cold. We just saw Fayetteville drop to 32. So at least on this map, all these towns are looking at temperatures at or below freezing. It's 22 in Southern Pines, 27 in Roxborough, 30 in Rocky Mount, 28 in Goldsboro. So a cold start like it was yesterday. As a matter of fact, temperatures in some places are a couple of degrees cooler and few places a couple of degrees warmer, so it'll sort of even out. Take a live look at Fenton in Cary, and they have their ice rink all ready to go. It actually opens on Sunday, and it'll be open into February, so looking like the holidays, feeling like the holidays. 30 degrees the temperature at RDU. It is clear, so we have the top of the tower lit in blue. It's also frosty. In some places, you may need to take a couple of minutes to scrape your windshield, so be prepared for that, and our temperatures will actually start to warm up. That's going to happen because our wind, instead of coming from the north, bringing the cold air, starts today to come from the south and bring us some warmth. Mid-60s for this afternoon. We have some 70s in our forecast. It's also a dry forecast. We'll talk about how that's affecting our drought situation coming up, Brian.
Elizabeth, at 6:02, and we've been following breaking news in Hillsborough, where a crash overnight closed lanes on 85 southbound right around the I-40 interchange. We have some new information in the past few minutes. Let's head out live to WRAL's Kelsey Coffey at the scene of that. Kelsey, what have you learned here in the past couple of minutes?
Well, Brian, right before we came on air, the scene actually just cleared. So right now, this is really all we see right now is just a lone police car. Now that the lanes have reopened, this shouldn't be anything that would impact your morning commute. This is clearing right on schedule. NCDOT expected for this scene to clear by 6 o'clock this morning. So we'll keep you updated as we learn more. No information yet about any injuries. We did see one red truck. The bed of the truck was smashed. All of the windows were shattered. So we'll keep you updated as we learn more. Brian?
All right, Kelsey, thanks for that update. With traffic flowing freely through that area, we're not really seeing any big delays on 85 southbound through Hillsborough, but you did see that police car on the side of the road with the lights flashing. A reminder, whenever you see those flashing lights, you do need to move over at least one lane. I've been tracking some delays on 40 eastbound, appear to be unrelated to that earlier crash. Looks like those are easing up right around the old 86 interchange. Around the rest of the triangle right now, we're off to a pretty good start with quiet roads in Wake County. No crashes reported anywhere in Raleigh or Durham.
This morning we are hearing from congressional leaders about this protest that really did a number, disrupting traffic on the Durham Freeway for hours last night. The highway is back open to traffic this morning. The protesters who blocked the highway say they want the Triangle's congressional delegation to support a ceasefire in Gaza. The protest was organized by a pro-Palestinian group known as Jewish Voice for Peace. Their demonstration started at CCB Plaza in downtown Durham, but then minutes later they started marching and continued out onto the Durham Freeway. They blocked northbound lanes of the highway for more than 2.5 hours before leaving around 7:30 p.m.
Some people are willing to risk arrest in this moment. That's something that we're seeing across the country and across the world when it comes to civil disobedience.
The Durham police threatened to make arrests after declaring an illegal protest, but no arrests were made. Congresswoman Valerie Foushee released a statement in response to the protest, saying in part, I understand and recognize that our entire world is hurting over the human tragedy and humanitarian crisis unfolding in Gaza, Israel, and the surrounding region. The current humanitarian crisis must be addressed urgently.
Protesters from another chapter of Jewish Voice for Peace gathered outside a major transit station in Philadelphia. Another group called the Philly Palestine Coalition was also part of this protest. Police set up barricades outside the station while the protest happened. This morning, businesses in the Triangle are gearing up for the holiday season. The UPS on Atlantic Avenue in Raleigh is hosting a hiring event today. October's U.S. jobs report, set to be released in a few hours, is a preview of what's to come for the holiday job market. NC State economist Mike Walden says today's report could include what's called seasonal adjustments, a modification that accounts for seasonal hires during the holidays. Businesses are already prepping for holiday shoppers, and this leads to hiring more staff earlier in the year.
The holiday spending has been fast forwarded. It's not now. I think I've seen some reports of retailers saying, people were in August buying things for the holidays. So we may actually see some businesses starting to ramp up for holiday spending.
The September jobs report was somewhat of a shocker, with 336,000 positions added, nearly double what economists had predicted. Economists expect today's report to be more stable, with about 180,000 new positions. Walden says North Carolina's job market is booming. From 10 this morning until 6, you can go to the UPS on Atlantic Avenue in Raleigh and apply to be a driver or a warehouse worker. Amazon and FedEx are both hiring as well.
The head of our nation's Department of Health and Human Services will be in North Carolina today. Secretary Xavier Becerra is bringing attention to efforts to expand access to health care in rural areas and lower prescription drug costs. This morning at 11, he'll visit Granville Vance Public Health in Oxford, and then he'll visit Medical Arts Pharmacy and Medical Supplies in Henderson. CDC Director, former North Carolina Health Secretary Dr. Mandy Cohen will be joining Xavier Becerra at that event. And North Carolina's longest-running House Speaker, Tim Moore, will run for Congress in 2024. Moore's advisor, Paul Shoemaker, told WRAL late last night he plans to make a formal announcement next week on his congressional campaign. Shoemaker says the Republican representative has been making calls to members of the North Carolina delegation and key supporters, alerting them to his run. We knew he wasn't going to be running for re-election for House Speaker, and we'll keep you updated as to when he makes that formal announcement.
A man is in federal custody accused of threatening to shoot and kill children in Cary. Several of those threats targeted a daycare center just feet from where he lives. Cary police arrested 46-year-old Kevin Douglas Wednesday night for cyber stalking. He bonded out, and then he was rearrested yesterday with the help of the FBI. Authorities say he made 9 threatening cyber tips to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. He said he wanted to shoot and kill Mexican children. Douglas was released from federal prison in 2016 after he threatened to kill someone at the British Embassy in Washington. He has a federal detention hearing in Raleigh next week.
2 people are dead this morning after a terrible crash on Highway 2427 near McDuffie Road in Moore County. This was a heartbreaking scene when the WRAL breaking news tracker arrived. Police say a car abruptly crossed the center line into the path of a semi-truck, hitting it head on. We learned a 30-year-old man from Dunn and a 25-year-old woman inside that Chevy Cruze died. The highway was shut down for several hours.
Happening today, President Joe Biden will meet with families in Maine who are grieving after last week's mass shooting. Biden will be in Lewiston, where a gunman shot and killed 18 people at a bowling alley and bar on October 25th. The president will be joined by the First Lady for today's visit. They'll meet with families and community members, as well as with first responders, nurses, and others who are on the front lines of the response.
You want to be aware of some road closures around Raleigh downtown Sunday. Thousands of runners will be hitting the streets for the 17th annual City of Oaks Marathon. The race gets started on Glenwood Avenue, 7 o'clock Sunday morning. Runners will be on Hillsborough Street and some other adjacent side streets. WRAL is a proud community partner of this event, and I'll be down there emceeing the start line with Allie Ingersoll.
Looking forward to that. Well, I'm Ken Smith. Our news continues after the break. Time to set those clocks back 1 hour this weekend, but at what cost to our health? Some expert advice coming up.
It's that time of year when hospitals start seeing more cases of RSV, especially in children.
Sweeps through daycare, sweeps through school, so it's a hard one to avoid.
Coming up, how pediatricians are planning to handle an expected surge in cases as the CDC warns of a vaccine shortage.
It's a cold start this morning with temperatures down near freezing, but we warm into the mid-60s today and then to nearly 80 toward the middle of next week. I'll show you the pattern change and how long that will last.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio in Raleigh on 99.3 FM, in Durham 96.5 FM, and everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
6:13, here's a live look at Beaufort. Sun's not up just yet, but temperatures are going to be warming over the weekend, making for a pretty nice weekend to be at the beach or the mountains, either one. Tomorrow, Wrightsville at 72, Emerald Isle 69, a little cooler up around Nags Head at 66, a little cooler along the Outer Banks. And that'll be true Sunday too. Ocracoke at 68, Emerald Isle at 69, Topsail 72, Ocean Isle 72. So I'm feeling very pleasant at the beaches. In the mountains too, lots of sunshine, pleasant temperatures. Bryson City's at 69, Asheville 68, Boone at 60 tomorrow, and then a slight bit cooler for Sunday. Boone at 59, Asheville 67, and Highlands at 61. We'll see lots of sunshine there. It's going to be sunny here too through the weekend, and temperatures will be climbing. I'll show you our local forecast coming up.
Elizabeth, it is just about 6:14 as we take a look at traffic this morning. Again, that good news from Hillsborough. They have opened all of those southbound lanes of I-85 right around I-40. Traffic's flowing freely, but look out for some police activity perhaps on the side of the road. Quiet in Durham as well. And as we take a look at Wake County, just check with 911. We have no crashes reported right now. And all of our sensor readings are looking good as you head into Raleigh this morning. No trouble coming in from Knightdale on 87 southbound. And that ride from Durham on 40 eastbound, all clear from 885 all the way to Wade Avenue. Renee?
Thanks, Brian. Children's hospitals are preparing for a surge in admissions for RSV, and the vaccine to protect babies from virus is in short supply. The CDC is urging pediatricians to ration the drug and prioritize babies with high risks for complications. Dr. Ben Miras is a pediatrician at Raleigh Children and Adolescents Medicine. He explains what the shortage will mean for RSV season.
There's no reason to think it would be worse, but it'll just be as bad as it usually is, which is, not good.
Pediatricians say RSV is the leading cause of hospitalization for children under the age of 1.
Daylight saving time ends this weekend, and many of us are looking forward to that extra hour of sleep. The time change, though, can affect your health and mood. WRAL's Ken Smith joins us with some of the ways that experts say we can soften the blow to our health. Ken?
Jeff, working this early morning shift, we can appreciate that extra hour, right? But people either love it or hate it. I mean, we can all appreciate that extra hour of sleep, but at what cost to our health? A recent High Point University study found the majority of North Carolinians would rather pick one time and stick with it. Doctors say changing your sleep schedule and that time change can literally give you a headache.
Between 11 or 12 and 2 o'clock is when most of our hormones are secreted. So if people's sleep is thrown off, hormones are thrown off, that's going more likely to trigger migraines, especially in females.
Well, experts say make sure you have headache medication at the ready if you suffer from migraines. Also, getting exercise, spending time outside in the morning, and light therapy can be helpful strategies during the fall and winter months. Coming up on Today at 7, more on this debate and the congressional push to do away with daylight saving time.
Ken, thanks. Shaw University is introducing its new chief of campus police to students. Vernon Siders Jr. started on October 23rd. Siders previously worked with the New York Police Department and the Davidson Police Department in North Carolina. He says his experience in the wake of 9/11 made him focus on community-oriented policing that he carried into Davidson and now Shaw. Chief Siders spent his first day on the job walking around campus, introducing himself to students. The first weekend in November is filled with festivals and family fun.
We have a look at some of WRL's Out and About's best bets right now. And the Whirligig Festival is happening Saturday and Sunday in downtown Wilson. This is a live look there at the Whirligig Park. This weekend's festival will feature live music, chalk art, drawing contests, a BMX bike show, and those whirligigs, of course. Admission is free.
Tonight is First Friday in downtown Raleigh. Bring a chair and blanket and head out to Moore Square for a free screening of the movie Coco. The fun will start at 5:30 p.m. with live music and food trucks. There will also be a pop-up market. The movie gets started at 7:30.
Take a trip around the world this weekend without ever leaving Raleigh. The International Festival is happening at the State Fairgrounds Expo building. More than 30 cultures will be represented with lots of shopping, food, and performances. Tickets start at $5. For more about these events and others happening this weekend, you can go to WRAL.com and search Out and About.
No reason to leave the area when we're going to have such beautiful weather on the way and warmer. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center. Still a cold morning to start our Friday.
It is feeling very much like what we saw yesterday, but skies are clear. We take a look at Goldsboro, Apex, Chapel Hill, courtesy of Top of the Hill Restaurant, and Fayetteville, right there at our newsroom. Thanks to Katie Alonso for sending us one more of these beautiful pictures. You can see that gorgeous red color showing up there in Clayton. These colors make it even brighter over the next few days, because freezing temperatures create a chemical reaction in the leaves that make the colors brighter. So we have that to look forward to for the next week. Beautiful on Saturday, 71. A nice day Sunday too at 72 degrees. Football Friday will be a bit more comfortable than it would have been, say, last night. Temperatures should start off near 60 degrees and then fall into the 50s as we get through the evening. Lots of college football for Saturday, and temperatures also feel good. Beautiful sunshine Saturday and Sunday. Campbell plays UNC at noon, 60 degrees. Winston-Salem State plays at Fayetteville State, and Norfolk State at NC Central. Temperatures in the middle of the afternoon, 2 o'clock, 3:30, are going to be in the upper 60s. But chilly, of course, when Miami takes on NC State at home. Temperatures in the mid-50s at around 8 o'clock and dropping into the 40s. Rain chances for the next 5, 6, 7 days are at 0, which will make for some enjoyable outdoor time. But we've seen a lot of dry weather recently, and so when the drought monitor updated this week, we saw some pretty big changes. Most of the viewing area is under abnormally dry conditions, and our southwestern counties are in moderate drought. Some counties in the western part of the state are in severe drought at this point. So 51% of the entire state is either at moderate or severe drought. So that's becoming significant now. We take a look at the state as a whole, and our percentage of rainfall is anywhere from about 20 to 50% of normal. And for the year at RDU, we're about 3 inches behind. So we could definitely use some rain. The system's not going to bring us any rain. If anything, it's moving towards Central America and fizzling out at this point. And our 7-day forecast is dry. We do see our clocks moving back on Saturday night, and after that, temperatures are warm, looking at mid to upper 70s for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So, Brian, the dry conditions are nice for getting outside, but I know I've had to pull out the sprinkler this week.
Do you think that if you're running in the City of Oaks Marathon on Sunday, you could do your clock back during the race and maybe improve your time?
That's a great idea, Brian. Tell
Something
Jeff.
to keep in mind, Jeff. It is now 6:20 as we take a look at traffic around the Triangle. Pretty quiet overall. We did have that earlier crash in Hillsboro that closed southbound to 85 right around I-40. That has reopened, but we may still have some police activity on the side of the road. So you do want to keep that in mind heading away from the Churton Street exit out toward I-40. Through South Durham, we're looking fine on 40 eastbound. Just a 1-minute delay showing up between 15501 and 885. And around Raleigh right now, no big problems on our map. We're not seeing any delays on our sensors and no crashes reported at the moment.
Thanks, Brian. Green Day is coming back around again when you can get tickets to their world tour up next.
And soon you'll be able to book a flight from RDU to Iceland any day of the week. We'll tell you when the service is expanding.
Here's a look at your winning NC Education lottery numbers on your screen.
This What's Trending report, sponsored by Rug & Home.
Green Day has announced a major world tour.
And Brian Schrader's coming around with what's trending, Brian.
Yes, this is called the Saviors Tour. The U.S. and Canadian legs of the tour will kick off next July in Washington, D.C. You can see them in Charlotte, August 26th at the PNC Music Pavilion. The tickets go on sale November 10th.
I will make note of that. 20 years since the American Idiot Tour, which I feel a strong connection to. I don't know why, but Smashing Pumpkins is part of the opening act. Rancid is with them as well, so it should be a great show.
stop. You feel a strong connection because they were good songs.
They were good songs.
And now I feel old.
And the name.
Wow.
20 years.
Yeah.
Tara Lipinski's baby girl wore a version of her mom's iconic Olympic figure skating costume for Halloween. Take a look. Those are some cute pictures. The former Olympic figure skater shared these pictures of her newborn daughter, Georgie, on Instagram. The outfit is inspired by the one that Lipinski wore to compete in the 1998 Winter Olympics.
Georgie was born in October, and on that close-up, I don't know if you can see, she even has like knitted booties, like little ice skates with laces. It's too precious right there.
Yeah. That is cool.
And then her dad also posted these pictures and wrote, "No pressure, Gigi," but you may or may not follow in mommy's footsteps, but whatever you want to do, you'll be great.
That is super cute. Brian, thank you. Iceland Air says the newly introduced route exceeded expectations since its 2022 launch, and now you'll be able to take off for an Iceland vacation daily, year-round. As a result, people will be able to book those daily flights to Reykjavik starting May 20th. More than 70,000 people have flown that route so far. So it initially launched with the 4 days of service from May through October. Now, every day all year.
It's a cold start for us again this morning. Temperatures are below freezing on this map. I'll show you what's going to change to help bring our temperatures back above normal coming up.
And we give you this live look in Gaza right now. The Israeli military says it has the entire city surrounded. What we know about Secretary of State Antony Blinken's visit to Tel Aviv this morning as the fighting intensifies.